Guys, this is an online class. Please switch on your cameras.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Wi-Fi.
I can, Nimisha.
Ma'am, I don't think my camera is working.
I can't hear you. No. No. Are you playing with
Hello?
me?
No, ma'am, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Guys, can we start?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of PrepTalk Podcast. I'm your host, Vartika Bhandari. Today, we have a special episode lined up for you. Why? Because we have four amazing faculties with us today talking about the fun that we have at Tutela and how the SAT became digital and the changes that come along with it, and a lot of fun talks we've had. So, without further ado, please stick on to the podcast as we have Somendra and Sanskriti who head SAT at Tutela, and we have Seba and Namisha who take care of the students who are connected with us globally. So, without further ado, let's get started. Welcome everyone to the podcast. So that little demo was a description of how our teachers face the online class and how students make it so difficult to start a class. Okay, welcome guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, I did a very bad acting because I can't stop laughing. So I'm sorry, pardon me for that.
A regular
Okay.
day.
That was very good. We were
Thank you.
convinced. That's
Too
what
sweet.
we are doing at this end when the students are not responding.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. Okay, so are you excited for the podcast?
Very, very.
Yes. Very much, yes.
Okay, to start with and to break the ice, I would like you all to introduce yourself with a fun incident that you came across as a teacher. So we'll start with you, Somendra sir.
So I'm Sumendra, yes, and I have been a part of Tutela for the last 5.5 years. I started as a math teacher, and I now head the SAT department. And as far as the fun incident goes, I have several of them. For example, for once I remember there was an online class going on, and the student forgot to mute himself, and then he said some very weird thing about me. So that happened, and I had to very politely say, "Ki bacha, please mute yourself first." And he said, "Oh sir, sorry." So yeah, those kind of things are pretty common, and this is what I.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coming on to you next, Sanskriti.
Hi, I'm Sanskriti and I'm academic head at Tutela along with Somendra. And
Yeah, we jointly had SAT, by the way.
we jointly had academic things.
Yeah, okay, go on.
Okay. What else? Fun and unexpected. So all the kids we teach are, in their teen years. And one day, one of the students left my class, and I was like, fine. So it was a Saturday, and the center closes an hour early. And I was like, fine. I also left, and suddenly I saw that I was getting a call from our director Sanjay that this kid's mom is calling me, and he has not reached home, and have you not left him, and all that. And I was out with my friend because I was probably eating something. I said, but yeah, it's been an hour. And then so that kid basically went on a date, and he took that buffer of weekday and weekend at Tutela of 1 hour, and so that was like a classic teenage
So he
behavior.
bunked the class, I guess.
He was in the class, but according to his parents, he was still at Tutela because Tutela was not functioning till 8 p.m. So this is a classic teenage behavior. I think we all have somewhere, sweetly lied to our parents, try to ditch here and there. But yeah, that's fun. I think that's you come across.
Okay, that was interesting. I hope his parents were fine
But
with
he
you.
honestly told me also that this is what happened, and like save me sort of situation.
But that's sweet, sweet, students here are so much closer to their teachers.
Yeah,
They're like your friends.
true.
Yeah.
So
So,
he actually
Seva,
could have hooked up with you. He should have
Uh-huh.
said, "Hey, ma'am, I have to go on a date. Please lie on my behalf." And I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have made that
I-
arrangement from
one of-
before.
By the way, one of the very good students said the same. Ki, ma'am, there's a puja at home and I don't want to attend. This is another one. So can you? He DM'd me this. Okay, so there was a parent group. We make a parent group also. So he DM'd me, and he's one of our star kids, by the way. I can't name him, but he's one of the star kids. So he DM'd me saying that, ma'am, there's this puja at home, which is very boring. But if I don't, if I'm at home, I'll be made to sit in that long puja. Can you drop a text in my parents group that you really need me to be at the center and practice for ACT and do that? And I swear, please, I'll study and everything. I said, it was wrong, but it was also right, and I also understand. So I said, okay. And he said, "Ma'am, कल के लिए आप ये message लिख देना." मैंने बोला ठीक है. So I just sent that message that hi, and I'll be needing. I wrote the name of the kid tomorrow. And then the kid came and I said, "So now you must be happy I've saved you." कहता है, "Ma'am, actually the puja is tomorrow. I just forgot about it. Now I have to attend the puja also." मैंने बोला, "Oh God, dude." So yeah, funny.
Oh my god.
It was the
Yeah,
star kid.
that's true.
It's a-
Okay, Saiba, on to you next.
Okay, so there was this very interesting incident that
First,
happened.
introduce yourself.
Oh, right. Okay. So, my name is Seba, and I've been an English teacher for almost 7, 8 years now. I started off when I was in college, like my first year of undergrad. I started part-timing, and that's how other things paved their path, and I was onto this track. So, just now, a couple of months back, there was this. I just started off at Tutela, and it was my first batch. Okay, so there was like 3, 4 kids in the batch, and it was the first class, my first experience with this, SAT batch. And there were 2 girls who, matlab, casually I asked students to introduce themselves, like there's an icebreaker that I do in the first class. They talk to themselves and all that. And then towards the end of the class, these 2 students of mine, they were very inquisitive about their names. So this one student, she, I can name, right? I can give out the names, right? And they are, both of them are like brilliant students. So they got to know that they are actually childhood friends. So one of them is in Singapore and the
Okay.
other is in Delhi. So
Oh,
both of them, I mean, their
grew
journeys
up.
changed after. Yeah, they grew apart, and after kindergarten, they left. They were very thick friends, and their families were also very thick friends. But one moved to Singapore with her family, and the other remained in Delhi. And another in 12th grade, 11th or 12th grade, and just with their names, they were like, "Hey, I don't know why, but your name seems very familiar. Were you in so and so school?" And she was like, "Yeah, I was in this school." And okay, what are the odds of meeting someone with the same
That's
surname, right?
so beautiful,
Yeah.
actually. That's
So
so
Yeah.
beautiful.
they didn't have contact numbers. They were not in touch at
That
all,
is
like
also
absolutely
doing
not in
what
touch.
That's
people
really
do.
sweet.
Yeah, I know. They were
That's
so
very
happy
sweet.
to get back, in touch with each other. They immediately exchanged their contact numbers and their Instagram IDs. They're like, "Oh my god, I can't wait for my mom to talk to your mom."
Oh,
And yeah. And now they're like the thickest of friends. Every batch that I start, they're like, "Hey, you know what? I sent you this reel. Did you check it out? We should meet up when I come to Delhi." It's a nice
that's
fun
really
bunch.
sweet.
Yeah, a very nice experience that I had. Yeah, so that was something nice that happened with me.
That was really sweet. You were a friend
Yeah.
matchmaker.
Yes.
Yeah. People are telling so many stories, and then what did I start with? Now I'm anyway. Yeah. I think
It's okay. That was fun for you.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Then let's move forward. Yes.
Yeah, Nimisha, now your turn.
Okay. Hi guys. This is Nimisha this side. I have been teaching maths for I think 5 to 6 years now. And I've been at Tutela. I'll be completing 6 months soon, and I'm looking forward to that a lot. And interesting incident. Well, what I could remember right now was this is not at Tutela. This was at my previous job, but there was a student, and we always find these, uber smart students who are, always one step ahead of you, and they whenever you start teaching a student, you always start at a baseline that you will check if the student is smart or not. And then according to that, you start teaching, right? So I did the same with the student. He was in Saldaji and seemed like a fun child. He came and sat for the class. It was kind of his first class only, like my first intro class with him. And I started teaching him. And it's like I would ask him a question. And before me completing the question, he would answer. And he did this for a couple of things, like with simple things, yes, he would answer. But I asked him things which would require a calculator, and he would give them the answer not even in 1 second or 2 seconds, in split second, before me completing the answer. So I was so shocked, and that is literally the only student I have ever seen, and I will never forget that boy because I have not seen someone so sharp and so smart and so fast. So I thought I asked him how he was able to do it. So I thought maybe it's abacus or something because a lot of students take abacus because of which their calculations become really fast and all, right? But it was not abacus. It was just something he used to do in his head. And in that particular class, there were a couple of instances where he taught me, like a couple of things he taught me, and I was really impressed with that child. So yeah,
That's nice.
that will always stay in my head. That student.
That's great.
Nice.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't
So,
remember a fun incident. So yeah, interesting incident.
No,
Fun
no,
yaad
it's-
aayega. So
it's
I'll
super.
get back to you because yeah, students can be funny too.
It's really nice. My mom also enrolled me for an abacus class, thinking I would improve in math, and I was terrible.
I still
Terrible.
don't know what is that abacus thing. I have
Yeah,
no
it's
idea.
like there are four beats and you have to calculate and stuff. It
Yeah,
does not have help with your maths. As far as I was concerned, it did not. But then again,
yeah.
parents just want
So it was
what they
like
want.
I did not give up on math. Math gave up on Vartika,
Yeah,
including
But
yeah,
yeah,
gave up on me also.
yeah.
that's a
And
good thing
coming
because then
to
who
I
would be
think yeah,
coordinating
for
our podcast and
also
doing all
yeah,
this?
yeah, yeah,
just
absolutely.
Thank you guys. Thank
I
you.
feel like there are people who can do maths. Like 58 into 2. I'm like, wow, you can do that.
So if we talk about the strategies, okay, when I share my incident of abacus and maths, I never had a teacher who could make me feel very nice and very comfortable with math in the sense that I felt like doing math. So what strategies being a teacher do you follow in terms of dealing a student, because every student is different from another. So starting with the offline teachers, Somendra and Sanskriti.
I think you should go first.
Oh, okay. So, of course, everybody is to be dealt in a different way. A very basic thing is what we do in the class. But there's one thing which I tried with my center students was if something was really stuck, I think I would. That's what I learned in my college. You understand best when you teach. Because I used to revise like this. I used to teach my friends and feel like I'm learning it. So I changed the rule. I tell my kids that okay, if you're stuck in this, revise this. Let's discuss this topic. Now I'll sit like a student. You take a marker, use the board, and you teach me. You teach the same topic back to me. So I think when you sort of teach somebody, you of course have to understand that to a good level, and then you have to vocalize it also. So that strategy have sort of I think helped my students and me in terms of a bonding and b clarifying some topic which probably they were stuck up.
Okay, so does that work with math as well?
I think so that
Yeah,
would, yeah.
to some extent, because see, when I say some innovative strategy, students who are themselves driven, they don't require the teacher to be very good at the soft skills and all those things, because those such students know what they are looking for. That's why they have decided on this product SAT. However, if I think about a student who is not driven at all or is extremely weak in the concepts, I can't use the strategy of him teaching me. What will he teach, right? He or she.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, what has been sort of working with me, it's going to be a very boring answer, but this is what has been working very effectively for me. The According to me, the very first interaction or the very first class that we have with any new student matters the most for me, because that's one instance where whatever kind of challenges the students are facing, you can always bring them to a very comfortable zone where they're very open to asking even the minuscule questions. So I always sort of make sure that students are very comfortable around me so that they can share any kind of problem. And trust me, this works so well. Even if there is a very embarrassing small step that the student has not understood, they are always very open in asking. I have seen such students, getting a huge increment in their scores just because they have someone with whom they can talk about their problems.
Okay, and if we talk about that in an online setup, because physically being for a student is sort of different from being available to them online, and having a set schedule of having those classes with that particular student. So, what happens with you, Nimisha? If we talk about math, and then we'll move on to Seba for English.
Um, I think what Sanskriti mentioned, I actually made a note of it because that is actually a good thing to do. I'm going to try that. Uh, that you teach the topic to the student and then they teach it to you back. It's almost like oral, asking them questions orally, right? Something like that. And for what Somendra said, I think making the students comfortable in an online setup, obviously it's much more different than a physical setup because you're face to face sitting with the students. So you're interacting with them face to face, and that gives it another level, right? But on online, obviously that thing is they're not physically present with the student. But what I try to do is I try to talk to the students. Like as Somendra said, the first class is very important. First class is where we set the base, we understand the level of the student. The student gets an introduction of us, gets familiar with us. Now, if I am being hostile with the student, if I'm being if I'm putting up a strict face in front of the student, they are gonna get intimidated and then they're gonna get scared of me, right? Maths is anyway, we know it's a scary subject, right? Students anyway get scared of it. So if they're getting scared of me, first of all, I hope I don't look scary. So I try to give that vibe that I'm not like a typical maths teacher. And then I try to have a conversation, be it the first class or be it the third or fourth or last class. I always try to start the class, which actually is detrimental to me because that takes up my time, but I don't compromise on it. I talk to the student, I talk to them about their life, their other things. Like The other day, I was talking to the student about she had watched a new movie with her family, so she's telling me about she had bought animals, so she was telling me about that. So we had a 5-10 minute chat about Bollywood, what kind of movies they are making. So once you have that personal conversation with the child, they already come at what for me. They were saying that already come at that level that they're not scared of you,
True.
they're comfortable with you. So they automatically will ask whatever they want to ask. They don't feel like if I ask this question, is this teacher going to judge me? Is she going to scold me? Like, how can you not understand? So all those things are eliminated at that point.
Right. And what about you, Seba?
So I always use this technique, okay, in my classes, which is called the Socratic method. And this was taught to me by my teacher. If you want to become if you want to have like equality in class, there should be no bridge, like, you're the teacher and you're teaching someone who has no knowledge. So use the Socratic method where you ask the student, what do you think about this? Or what do you know about this? Let's say I'm teaching, let's say, verbs, for example. I ask the student, what is your take on verbs? What do you know about verbs? Share your knowledge, and I'll add on to it. I don't say, oh no, you're wrong. These are not verbs. Let me tell you what verbs are. So that way I set this a very basic understanding. The teacher is not above me, or the student is very new, and he's yet to learn so much. So there's this very strong connection that we establish, and I do that for almost all my topics. I ask the student, what do you think about this? What's your take on this? And that way I'm not as intimidating as the students think of teachers generally. And like I think all the others on the table said, establishing a very friendly bond. And we're all young teachers. The teachers that we had during our time, they came with a lot of experience, and they came with a lot of, like that strict aura. But
That's a very
we,
nice way of
The
saying
personal
all our teachers. Yeah.
the
yeah,
personal bond and connection was also missing when we think about it.
Yeah.
Teachers
yeah,
back 15, 20 years, like, no, it was not the
it was
same.
very
But in a
difficult.
classroom
Yeah,
setup, it's also difficult, right? When there's like 30, 40 students.
yeah. But
Hmm.
Yeah,
mostly,
they
these
have a
days,
better challenge. Yeah.
yeah, these days almost all our teachers, like, I mean, at least the ones that I've come across, they're all so young with so much, enthusiasm. They're like walking with the fashion, the like what's happening in the industry. So children are able to bond well with us. They're able to actually,
Um,
some students, they just, they crack jokes, puns that we're actually able to understand. If I had to crack a pun with my teacher, she'd probably send me out of class. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
Do you
I
remember?
have out of class so many times in my life.
Yeah. Do you guys remember the punishments you used to have
Yeah.
in your time?
My
Like
God.
get up and
impositions, right?
Stand outside the
Just
class
stand
for a
Yeah.
whole day.
rounds of the
Yeah.
My teachers
That
used to think
that
that it's
thing they
punishment.
used to we used to raise our hands and stand on the desks,
All of
and
you
we were like,
raise
oh
your
my
hands up and
god.
stand on the desk.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God. So that's not
Yeah.
happening.
Compared to them, we are
Yeah.
angels. Compared to those people.
That's true. And in my school, I'm not sure how popular or common it is. So they used to force us to speak English all the time, except for Hindi period.
yeah.
And
Fine.
whoever spoke a word
Same.
of Hindi, they used to ask for money. And
Yeah.
then end mein, whoever, whatever students used to have a fine line, they never spoke in Hindi. They had a good streak going on. They used to get gifts, and it's like, okay.
From that money.
And yeah, from that
That's
money.
the
And I used to be scared, like, how do I ask money to my mom? I spoke in Hindi, Mama, paise de do. I'm like, my mom was like, is that what you're going to school
Our
for?
system was different. If we did it first attempt, like first warning, we will be given to write 50 times. I will not speak in English. I will not speak in English. Sorry, I will not speak in Hindi. 50 times, then second warning, 100 times, 500 times, and then you get 5 rupees money.
There's a hack coming out for these punishments that you stick the pens and you write with them.
Yeah, we did that. What do you think? We
stick them.
held three pens in our hand and we are trying to write 3 sentences at the same time.
Yeah. So yeah, again, you applied maths there as well. So moving on. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about SAT. How this year has been such a drastic change when you talk about SAT moving altogether to an online platform. Never done that, and from the first attempt that was on the SAT digital, and now that we have been we have done 7 attempts, right, this year. So how the things have changed? Is SAT better, and what are your views on that?
Hmm.
Anybody can take up the questions and open.
I think okay.
Yeah,
So you want to go?
you go on. You go on. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
So I personally, yeah, since I mean, I've also done the paper with 10 SAT. Like I've actually written the exam and the digital SAT. I feel the digital one is less daunting. It's so much more breathable. But since school students are more adept to pen and paper writing, this is something they feel like they're lagging a little behind. And looking at the screen for about 1.5 2 hours, if a student has not taken up any practice test, it's just like raw, then it's going to be difficult. But if a student has actually prior experience with like sitting with the screen, screen zoning for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, then I think it's a lot more doable, because I've asked this question to my students who take the diagnostic test first, and then as they proceed, once they start taking up, more computer, matlab, sit in front of the computer and take up these tests, they say it's a lot more breathable now. Now that I'm working with this, it's a lot more, doable. But still, there's this thin line between, the pen and paper test and the digital one. It's still going to be a little, it has to dissolve a little more, is what I feel. But aage jaake it'll get better, I think.
Other things are also there, of course, as Seba said. The transition, uh, when what, last year around, say, during August or something, I got to know that okay, these are the changes that are going to happen, and at that time it seemed so impossible to implement such a large scale thing, and worldwide. And I was just wondering how will we be able to cope up with it? How will all the students cope up with it? Which is why last year's December attempt was taken by such a large number, because they thought कि यार next year से तो it'll become digital, तो जो करना है कर लो, as if the world is ending, which usually happens whenever there is big change happening. However, the change, of course, at the back end, when we are on the handling side of things, it felt a lot. I think at the end it came out to be not that bad. There are so many pluses with the exam format. The duration is cut down by roughly an hour, and there are no huge reading chunks. I think Seba and Sasmiti can explain that better to you. And there is no calc section anymore. So all those good things are there. Yes, I have had only a fraction of students, because now you can't say that you find too many students who have a problem with screens, because students are almost always on their
Yeah.
phones. However, I still every now and then face a student who says, "Ki sir, screen time is increasing, and that's a problem." Yes, that will be a problem. But then we have to gradually move towards it, because that's how the scheme of things are. One more thing, which does not apply to the SAT exam itself and the aspirants, but being an environment lover myself, I see so less paper getting used, because every single test booklet was this thick, and then there were OMRs everywhere, and at the back end we had a task, because we what, just before every attempt we make sure that the students go through 14 or 15 full length tests. So there was so much work related to checking all the tests. All of us have done that, so all those things have gone down. So I think overall it's a blessing that this change has happened.
True. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm especially for a lot of kids who used to and still probably are not very great with reading, because reading is a kind of a hobby, I would say, which is now subsiding.
Yeah, you're
The
talking about the
generation.
English change, no?
Uh-huh.
Uh,
I mean, that's one thing, that they don't have to read 800 words kind of a passage, and it's now 100 words, and which is comparatively less. Yes, they have sort of tweaked the difficulty in terms of that. Ki contextually, you have to pay a lot of attention. Earlier, that was probably simpler. But at least when you're a student, and then when you're a non-reader, looking at that huge text intimidates you first. No matter how much we used to tell that, oh, it's just very simple text, but the first glance used to be like intimidating. Ma'am, there's so much of reading. How do we do? I am not a reader, and all that. So that has changed. I mean, yes, everything else that even Seba and Soom has said is true when it comes to environment, when it comes to checking. Okay, one thing I really hope now they should, since they have shifted everything to online now, we can just give results a little earlier. Yeah, that's all I have to say. That is taking the equal amount of time as they were probably taking with the paper version, and now with everything going digital, I mean, we can expect that results should come faster. That's it.
Yeah,
Our
college
podcast should
board.
reach
All
them.
good feedback.
I
Our
hope so,
podcast should reach
Nimisha.
college board.
I hope so.
It's gonna get viral, yes.
I'm sure.
For screen time, I guess online teachers can't really say anything, because we're asking them to sit on the screen for the class itself for 1.5 hours, 2 hours.
You're
So
just prepping
yeah,
them for the best.
yeah, I know. But yeah, definitely for the environment, definitely a plus.
All right. So, do you think that the score that the student used to get in pen and paper also vary now that it is digital? Is it more easier for them to score better in like digital SAT, or was it easier before?
I think it's equal. I don't think they will, but the slight differences then that can be subjective. This is also honestly my opinion on this. But a lot of times we get. I'm sure everybody must have heard this question from their students, ma'am. Do you think this was, especially this year, because they had that chance to choose, ma'am? Do you think this is easier, ma'am? Do you think paper? I think there are a lot of pros and everything we are calculating here and there, but all in all, I don't think in terms of scoring it has become like a cakewalk, or it has become very cumbersome. It's bad. I think College Board has very well balanced its both aspects. If they have cut down, let's say, on the length of it, they have just made context a little, complicated. Same, I am sure maths, maybe they must have done something that if they're giving you calculator, maybe more calculator intensive questions were there, or how are the tests. I think Nimisha or Som can talk about it. But all in all, I don't think it's very easy or very difficult. I think it is same. You have to apply, and mindset and everything should be same. वही आप
What about the?
I feel like it totally depends on the student. It
Mhm.
totally depends on. It's like they have given you these tools in place. I don't know about English exactly. I can't speak on that. I can speak on math. They have provided you the tools, but they have told you can use your calculator. You can use Desmos. You have Desmos available as well. You can use all of that. But if you don't know how to apply it, how to use it, it's of no use at all. I have seen students who don't touch Desmos at all. If they know how to accurately use Desmos, they can score very, very high. They have this I don't know apprehension about using Desmos. I don't know what that is about. We can elaborate on that later. But I feel like they have not made it, as Sanskriti said, not easy, not more cumbersome. They've given the tools in place. Now it depends on the students if you know how to use the tools properly.
Yeah, and you know what? Some students just don't like using Desmos because they themselves feel like, sir, ये तो cheating है, sir.
Exactly. I was gonna say this, but I thought Desmos पे आएंगे तो बाद में I should elaborate this. But I was gonna discuss this with you. Students don't want to use Desmos because they feel like yeah, exactly. That it's cheating, that I'm taking a shortcut or something like that. I want to do manual work. But then what's the point if you're doing the manual work and you make a calculation error there?
They themselves have, they have allowed the
Calculator,
usage
yeah.
of it. And
Yeah, and it's not like Desmos always gives you a direct answer.
Yeah.
You have to know how to apply and get that answer from Desmos.
Yeah.
So uske liye it's not like it's a shortcut exactly. You need to know your concepts as well.
it's not actually a math.
And there are
math
people
question.
who can still get wrong answers with calculator.
Yes, I'm in on that.
How do you do that? This requires so much talent.
Yeah, this
It's not a
requires
normal calculator. I hope you know. Obviously, you know that. When I see Desmos in office, I'm like, what the hell is this?
And I'm like, oh, this
It
makes
feels like a
oh,
gadget from another world, and
Now I want
something
I'm getting this teacher inclination in me to pitch
No.
this to Vartika. How I pitch it to students when they say the same thing. Ki, no, beta, listen to me. It's not like that. I want to tell Vartika this right now. The first
My
time
days,
I used
my-
Desmos, when I
my days
when
to
I
use
started Tutela,
Desmos.
when I started Tutela was the first time I saw Desmos, because before that I was in a company with paper and this thing only. So I saw Desmos and I also didn't like it. I also didn't want to use it because I'm like, I'm already used to my calculator. Why do I go to this? But then I pitched to the students that once I did it for 10, 20 questions and I got used to it, blah, blah, blah. I was going to pitch this to Vartika right now.
Can you
No,
actually show me
Nimisha,
what
please
it looks like?
understand. I am not giving SAT anytime soon. My
absolutely
days
not.
to give SAT are over. So I don't plan on it. I'm happy.
No, but I want to know what is this? Matlab, is it like a calculator? Can you show it to me if you have it?
It is
I've never
not a
seen it.
calculator.
No?
So,
Okay.
Sarah, when we are done with this, you can just type in desmos.com and the
Desmos
page,
Okay.
click on graphic calculator, and then whatever equation you type, it will just show you the
it
curve
gives
in
you
real time.
graph
It
and
gives you roots and
parabola.
everything in one.
Oh, okay.
And you know what? I don't even know what parabola is. So for everybody's convenience, I'll add in a photo when we edit.
I have the one confusion. I have a question from the English teachers. Very out of the blue, but is it parabola or is it parabola?
I call it parabola.
Parabola.
Parabola. Yeah. Parabola is what.
Oregano.
I think it's similar to
Potato.
Tomato.
whether it is
Like-
biology or biology.
Like
Biology,
Canada.
okay.
It's not
Canada.
biology. Please.
I'm gonna go with my mentor parabola. I am loyal to my math mentor.
That seems like some Punjabi.
Paragraph bola.
Yeah.
It's not parabola.
Parabola.
Parabola. Parabola.
Anyway, so
Yes,
I
moving on,
have a
Vartika.
question of whether the SAT going digital has made the scoring easier or difficult. I'd say that. So I concur with the answers that have already been given. It depends on the students, and if some things have become easier, then other things have gone harder on the same side. But SAT has never been a game of concepts for the large part. It has been a game of consistency and how much time can be given to it.
Application.
Yeah. So if any student, be it during the pencil and paper medium time or right now, if a student has poured in the required time, and that time is not a fixed number, it changes person to person. So if the time and effort has been spent on it, anyone can score. Trust me, it's a strong statement to make, but it's a fact. Anyone can score if the required time and effort has been put in. Sincerely, yes.
So when we talk about the adaptive feature that was launched with the SAT Digital, do you think that made a difference in terms of scoring or not scoring that well? Is getting above 1550 or 1600 all the more difficult or all the more easy now with the adaptive feature?
Sorry. So yes, though College Board officially has not released any kind of document stating the way they scale the score from the raw score out of each section to the scaled score out of 1600. However, based on the way the adaptive nature of the test works, it only makes sense to understand that. See, first of all, let's begin with how this takes place during the test. We get faced by the English section first, followed by the math section, and in each subject we have two modules. First module that comes will always be of a standard medium difficulty level, which is going to be constant for all the students who are taking the test. However, based on the performance of the student in those first modules, the next section will be decided. The next module of each subject will be decided, which is module 2 from each subject in the test is going to be an adaptive section. The way it works is that if I have done very good, that means I'll get a harder next module. If I have done not that good, then I'll get sort of easier difficulty level in the next one. So, as I was saying, they have not released any kind of a scaling directly, but we are sure that getting the second module to be more difficult is more advantageous, because I'm sure doing more mistakes on a standard difficulty level should be ideally more penalizing for the final score. Yes, that is the other part of the test going digital, that has made it a little bit more challenging, because the way we have been seeing the kind of questions that they're asking, and I'm sure it's true about English also, the kind of questions that they're asking in math in such harder modules to modules, those are really good questions. The ones that even if you have the calculator allowed, it won't matter at all, because the kind of qualitative nature of the question, which requires you to think more about the depth of the concepts, that has come in picture. So yes, to be a student who scores 1550, 1590, and so on, one has to be really really good in in all the parts of the content. Sure.
Okay. Okay. So talking about working at Udella, right? Some of you have
Yeah, I
worked for
love it.
years. Some of us have worked for years, and Seba and Nimisha are the recent ones, who joined the Tutela family. So starting with the not newbie, but yeah, newest members of the family, as I said. So talking about you guys, what is one thing that you love working with Tutela?
We are the younger
Uh,
generation, so and
yeah, you're the
Sanskrit, we
Gen
are the
Zs,
elder, the millennials or the Gen X
the
boomers.
boomers. I'll be the millennial, they'll be the boomers, and you are the Gen Zs.
You just
Seven.
want to be millennial. End of
I
the day.
am. I
Millennial.
am.
You are.
Seva, you can start.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the one thing that I really like here at Utella is the freedom that I get, in the way I deliver my classes and the way I connect with every student. There's no rigid, pattern. So many classes only have to be offered. It's actually, I mean, the students' capability and the student's caliber is what decides how much I need to connect with the student. There are cases where a student, after I finishes her classes also, I've got the leverage to connect with him or her more frequently. Matlab there's so much free space here that I can meddle with my teaching techniques. Something works for some students, something I have to try something else for a different one. So I get to experiment with my own teaching techniques sometimes, and I also there's so many interesting things that Tutela has brought to the table for me. With the matlab, all these days I was an offline teacher, and now the last 1 year I've become a completely online teacher. And the transition has been very smooth. I did not find it very challenging. Initially before I started off, I was thinking, how would I do this? Because I'm more of a live person. Like, I like energy in my class. But I was a little skeptical about how the whole online thing is, because, a lot of times students don't even turn on the camera. So I'm talking to a screen, right? But I had the liberty to conduct games in my class sometimes, just to make the student turn on the camera. So that freedom I've had with Tutela, which I don't think I've seen elsewhere. So yes, this is something that I
That's
find
why.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also agree with that. Yeah. Nimisha.
Mm, Obviously, taking ahead Seba's point, freedom is definitely the best thing in Tutela. And wha- related to that, I think one thing that is not there and that I appreciate very heavily is that there's no micromanaging here. There's no, like you're not supposed to, every step, you're not thinking about every step that you're doing. If you trust yourself, the Tutela is also putting their trust in you. That is something very big for me. Like they are, and I always try not to break that trust. And I feel like it happens in a company, the culture is always decided from the people on top, right? Whether it's Ashish or Somendra or Sanskriti. These are the people that are on top of me. And it always trickles down from the top, I feel. The kind of culture that the people there create is kind of that is what's coming to us, right? And I would like to be bold here and just make the statement that it is definitely the best place that I've worked at. And I have worked at a lot of places. I've changed a lot of jobs in all these past. I've taught in schools. I've taught, uh, uh, unlike Seba, I've been in online for, I think, 3 years now. And I have 3 years, I've been in three different companies. This is my third company with the online structure. And online method, definitely, I found it like the freedom that I get to arrange the classes in my way with the student. And it's like, for example, as Seba said, that sometimes the student is not always in the mindset to, immediately start the class and start learning. So we need to kind of ease them into it. And I have faced the situation where in my previous companies, I didn't have that freedom. I had to be answerable about every minute of my class. Like, why was this happening this way? And even if I was in the right, I was being answerable to someone. And definitely, I didn't have to face those things here. So yeah, definitely a very good place to work in Tutela. Online, yeah, definitely. And if we're talking about just the culture in general, it feels like, I mean, there's a friendly culture going on, and there are different things that are always organized, which I genuinely appreciate. This was not there before. Thanks to Vartika and Ritu for that. And I genuinely appreciate that. Office people always get used to these things, right? When people are being in the office, they kind of start, oh, another activity. But honestly, I am enjoying the hell out of these, like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No,
awesome.
it's
Yeah.
not. It's not like that. I mean, yeah, I totally agree with everything that is said. But then, yes, they make sure that we don't feel that okay, another activity, because they are always so innovative. For
Yeah.
every other activity, they just work so much and make new
Yeah.
take games and activities.
Concepts
It's so
and
good. So
yeah.
yeah, all thanks to Vartika and
I have to
Ritu.
guess.
And
Yeah.
even honestly, like Ritu and Vartika, both of them have made even us remote employees. They've made us feel like it can be possible that all of the things are happening in the office, and we feel like we're just working and we are not a part of everything. But that is not there. We genuinely feel like we're a part of everything. They generally make that effort to include us in everything, which is yeah, very
That's
appreciable.
really
Yeah.
nice.
So when this
And
releases,
then
people who are going to listen to this thing, if you are looking for a good place to work with, please come here and you'll love it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And if you are looking for SAT, ACT, or AP prep, then so
Yes,
definitely
guys.
come
Are
to
we marketing
Tutela.
right in between now?
Yes.
You made
Yes.
us. You made us.
Something SAT के साथ ACT मुफ्त, something like that.
ये मत भी डाल दो.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
So
But you know,
talking
there's just
about
one
the
small thing that I like to add. When I got to know about this job offer, so there's a friend who recommended this opening at Tutela for a verbal faculty. So I didn't hear from him for like ages after we quit the old company. One day he called me and he said, "Hey, Seba, there's this really cool job that I have for you. It's run by two super cool dudes. Do you want to give it a shot?" This is exactly what I mean, verbatim. He said, the office is run by two super cool guys. Do you want to give it a shot? And I was like, itna cool kya ho sakta hai? I was like, okay, send it across
How
to me.
can
And
cool?
yeah, they're
Office
two
and
super
cool.
cool guys. Yeah,
I
I was like, okay,
feel
okay. I know. And yeah, and then I got on a call with Ashish, spoke to him, and I was like, whoa, okay, I definitely need to give this a shot. So yeah.
So that's the thing.
Yeah. Before I talk about what's good at Tutela, I think I just first want to thank you guys for all the things you have said.
Kind words.
Very, very sweet. And it's through this podcast we are able to engage in this appreciation, and it's just really nice to hear that you feel welcomed and loved and acknowledged. And I think the whole team will always try that you feel more of that. And yeah, I mean, we have Vartika and Ritu, and everybody tries their best, and I'm glad that we're able to reach that warmth to you guys. And on the second part, you guys have been an amazing addition. Being you guys not physically there, but I don't think we ever think that you're not part of the team. As instantly we say, okay, so when we divide this work or when we divide this activity, we don't think like, oh, those people. It's never this and those, it's just us. And you are equally very well part of the team as you feel, and we just really appreciate your presence. Now, coming to
Yay.
no, that's genuine. I think if you ask anybody, including him or Ashish, our Wi-Fi just broke.
No, it's fine.
That's
No, it's good.
not fine.
I'll just switch off and switch on. Yeah.
Okay, now coming to the fact that what do you love at Tutela? I think everybody has said almost what we felt. The comfort, the freedom is there, and all in all, yes, feeling acknowledged. When you talk about people, when you're talking about the hierarchy, I think yes, it does matter that how there's no micromanagement. That's one that has been already talked about. I mean, the way our decisions are looked, acknowledged, and trusted. There is a playground where you can be yourself and try something new without being under the pressure ki if it falls down, then it's going to come on me. So that's always there, that if you try something nice or new, like for example, Sumindra came up with this very interesting idea with SAT that there should be a course progress test. He was just brainstorming and he came up with that. And we started with it. Now it's not like it's his idea. So if it goes bad or great, or then it's, you do your, shiz. But it's something collective. Everybody, from management to admins to marketing team, the way things weave together and we take it together कि हाँ ये करना है और इसका हमें positive approach, we have to take it ahead. And I think that's that knitted part which is there in Tutela. I think that I really like. There's not just trust on yourself, there's trust as a team. uh,
And that eliminates a lot of something I don't like, that office politics. I don't see that between, like, the kind of banter that you guys have there. It doesn't seem like you're trying to,
yeah,
climb up to
it has to be organic. If you have to work
Yeah.
well, you have to. And there would be, it's not like there's no critical assessments. That's also one thing. If people hear and think like, oh my god, that means everything is just sugar coated and everything. No.
Hmm.
Get feedback, we also give feedback, but ultimately if it's a positive constructive criticism that can be
And it doesn't
good,
feel bad also.
so then I think the person
It doesn't feel negative
will
in a way.
understand the bigger picture. And that is where I think the team comes together. If I'm given a feedback, I don't have to take it personally. If I'm giving a feedback, I don't expect the person I'm giving to be taken personally. I'm like, it's constructive. If you're looking at it under one umbrella, that is what I always, at least so when I always try to put it, and say it in the team, it's one umbrella. It's not you, it's not you, it's not me, it's not him, it's Tutela as one thing. So if you look at like that, you'll work, together organically.
The oldest
One.
oldie.
We are still on the question now.
Yeah.
We because I was so engrossed, you people were saying such nice things.
Say boring.
No, nice things. I mean, yeah, to see good in other people, you yourself need to have some good in yourself. So I'm a firm believer of that, and it's clearly visible here. However, yes, things that I like about working here, whatever I say will just get added to what you people have said because it's a long list. But then, yes, most important
Ashish
thing,
is going.
as I said, I have been working here for the last 5.5 years, and trust me, when I came, there was just not too many people. It was just like 4 or 5 people.
The
So
cubicles were empty, legit empty.
yeah, and everybody was overworked because we have based on the team size, we have always catered to a larger number of students. So everybody was more or less overworked. But then what kept me here, even through the very difficult times, was the most fundamental thing around which the whole working. Remember, Seba, Nimisha, you people mentioned those things that things trickle down from top to bottom. Those things come down. So those are the most fundamental things that around which we always work, which is the work ethics and the most basic ethic that we have followed always. That if a student has come to us, our job is to ensure that they get what they need. So we don't, which is the reason why we never stuck to any uh, fixed strategy. And we have always modulated our way of working with the students based on their need. There have been times where people have come to us saying that take as much money as you want, just make our kid reach from this place to that place. And it's not that we have proceeded with them, because we told them the facts that this is not possible. We can refer you to someone who can help you better in the same direction. So we are not profit driven entirely, and mostly our interests coincide with the interests of the students, which is why all those things that you people said exist in place.
Sure.
We do it according to the students, according to the people who come to us.
Yeah.
So I have loved that part, which is why
Yeah.
I have stayed here. I have worked at other places also, and things were just totally, if I'm at east,
Money
they
oriented.
were west. So that's the most important part that has kept me here, and I love it.
We all love
That's
you.
really sweet, you guys.
You also make a heart. You make
For
a
me, you also do.
Rich, you make a heart.
I do it no.
It will go in the BTS.
Oh, yaar, kya hai?
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, love for
Don't you know
Tutela.
this one?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Korean.
He
That's
knows.
the heart.
All
Okay.
right, that was really sweet.
Overwhelming.
So yeah, very
Thoda
overwhelming.
sa, let's wipe our tears, guys, and continue.
No,
Chalo, chalo, aage.
that's all true though.
Yeah.
But you won't believe, honestly. For me, I just want to add quickly that
Yes.
Tutela is honestly my happy place. The kind of people I have as friends and as a team and everything is just so nice.
हमारा आशीर्वाद साथ.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro. So we'll do a quick rapid fire round because I know you guys have classes, and yeah, so I'll let you get to that. Before that, we'll do a quick rapid fire round. Okay?
How many questions are there in this?
I don't know.
Hamper
Well,
मिलेगा कि नहीं?
no, it's not Karan Johar. It's not Karan Johar.
No,
I'm
but
not
is it
Karan
like
Johar.
one? You'll ask one question and all of us will answer. Tak, 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 tak. ऐसा ना?
Yeah,
Or
so
one
it's like
person
English.
at a time.
It's English and math, like verbal and math. Okay.
Oh, so Seba. Yeah.
Do we
I
raise
do
our
have
hand or
one.
like we just
Nimisha, you will help me learn.
absolutely?
Seba,
Yeah.
we help you.
Rapid
Is
fire.
it a math
Yeah,
versus
we're
English?
seeing the hamper.
No. It's just
It's not versus anything. Like you
It's
guys
just
are
like
the
a
team. You guys
word.
are
बना
the
सकते
team.
हैं. We can make it versus who wins.
If you, oh my god, you want to make it competitive?
No.
But like, is it like one person 3-4 questions or one person 1 question or anyone
No,
can
no,
answer?
it's rapid fire. So first we are going team math, then we are going team English.
no,
Oh,
go
Like
team
verbal.
English
Verbal.
first in the exam. Do English first.
Okay.
Sure,
We're
we'll
ready.
go
Yeah,
verbal.
no problem, Sanskrit. Let's
We'll go
go.
Ladies
verbal.
first. We have a guy here, so ladies first.
Okay. Favorite SAT topic to teach?
For me, pronouns.
Modifiers for me.
Okay. Early bird or night owl?
Night
Right.
owl.
But night owl.
Ever since I became a mom, night owl.
Yeah.
Night
One
owl.
book that every student should read.
Okay, I'll go first. Fiction, I would say The Kite Runner. Non-fiction, Atomic Habits.
Oh my god, Kaitana was on my list too. And the shoe dog, which I think a lot of, I personally recommend that.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Seba.
Coffee and tea. I both are
Seba, you
50-50
should
for me.
definitely visit Tutela's office, like this office.
Yeah.
Pradeep Bhaiya makes some amazing coffee. My God.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's
Okay.
amazing.
I'm considering this for sure.
Hot, cold.
At least once.
coffee.
Yes.
A memorable quote that a student said.
Quote means like what they told me, right? Like what they felt.
Like could be anything. Yeah.
So I have got a few. One which I really love was Tutela Mom, you are irreplaceable.
Oh.
Oh. Okay. There was one that my student told me. She told me I sound like her mom. So it's easier to grasp what I teach because I sound like her mom.
That's sweet.
Yeah. Now, has it happened to you? Okay, so this is off rapid fire. Has it happened to all the like female teachers? Because लड़कों को कोई पापा नहीं बोलता गलती से, but sometimes students call you mom.
Very
Mama.
Yes.
Never happened till now.
Intensely
School
one.
में हुआ था class 1 के बच्चे ने
Abhi,
like mummy.
last month. This December.
हाँ.
Teenager like 11th 12th का बच्चे.
11th.
Yeah.
So he was saying, I was saying that, but we get friendly and all. So it's like, you should have done this. So I get really like intense and like, he's like, अरे ऐसे नहीं होता है मम्मा, and I'm like, sorry ma'am.
Oh my god.
Because
That's
it's
so
MM,
cute,
no.
yeah.
Yeah, it's MM, no. Sir, आपके साथ कभी हुआ किसी ने पापा बुलाया आपको?
And it's the vibe also, no? I think when you're like
Yeah,
nurturing
like
and all that.
So I'm like, why aren't you sleeping on time? You're just chilling out. Just don't go now. It's too late. So
Yes, that is mom
it was
life.
just like that type of conversation. And
Yeah.
he must have sounded a lot like his mom. And he said, अरे ऐसे नहीं होता है मम्मा. And I'm sorry ma'am.
Okay, on to the rapid fire now. Okay. Desired superpower for teaching.
I do not want to ever get tired, like because our classes are for 2 hours sometimes. I just want to be like, I want to have the same 100% battery with which I start my class. I never want to get tired.
What about you, Sanskriti?
I'm not
Fast
sure. I don't know. I mean, a never-ending board. I'm short and I have to erase a lot.
Okay. One word for your teaching style.
Fun.
Seba.
Organized. I have OCD, so I like to be very organized.
A subject that you don't teach right now that you want to teach for a day.
History.
History, humanities history.
Nice. Best way to unwind after work. Unwind. Sorry. So, unwind after work.
Off late for me, it's going back to my son after finishing my classes.
Same. For me, it's family.
Okay, I thought son.
Like family.
Okay. 3-word advice for SAT aspirants.
I have only 2 words. Be consistent.
Seba.
I always tell this is not the end of it. There's more. There's so much more. So this is, don't let this decide.
All right. Now do team maths.
We did good.
Yeah. You guys.
So,
So so if anybody is listening to this on Spotify, there's a poll running down that who won this game, who won this rapid fire.
But like it's
Go and
casual,
vote.
Vartika is the decider here.
after you have taken
Vartika, at the end of our rapid fire, you're supposed to give out the winner.
but
You know, both of these guys are really close friends of mine. So
We are not.
as in,
Ouch! Ouch! Oh my
Yes.
God! Again, the
Well,
tears.
I want Nimisha in office for today's thing. We had this very nice game today. You would have loved it.
yeah.
This was like a Jenga, and the Janta has to ask. So it was only for the managers, and everybody was on the other side, and we will pluck out a block. And if it's a star, then anybody from the team can ask a question, and it can be below the belt slightly, and like we couldn't be offended. It could be a little
Okay.
personal also.
Okay.
But people were just too
Like
nice.
you could ask the managers and the mentors.
Like I have asked very amazing questions to Vartika once things were done.
Yeah, you screwed me big time.
Below the belt. Please edit this out.
It was below the knees.
Your answer was below the knee. I
No,
asked very
You knew the answer.
No, I did
You
not.
sort of knew the answer. But anyways, okay.
Okay.
Okay, team math. Team math.
Yes, we're ready.
Favorite SAT topic to teach?
Nimisha, you
First.
So I'm in the start.
Not rapid.
Acha, okay. Quadratics.
Okay. I was gonna go with quadratic, but yeah, functions. The second unit mainly functions, exponent, non-linear functions.
Okay. Early bird or night owl?
Night owl, for sure.
Night owl for sure.
One book every student should read.
The third chimpanzee, Jared Diamond.
Good. I thought you will be suggesting some math book or something.
Additional.
After
Adi
Sanskriti and
Sharma.
Seba's answer and everyone, yeah, I'm gonna say Adi Sharma because I'm definitely not a book person. Sanskriti and Seba had such nice answers. I was like, oh my god, I was like, should I Google some books right now? But yes, Adi Sharma. I mean, from class 6, okay, and I'm not even joking. If you make it your Bible from class 6 to 10, your maths is done.
Or
Generally.
we are done.
That poor student will be done by the time that the student completes Adi Sharma. It's so huge.
I'll start grade 6 ka Adi Sharma and finish it in 10th. That's how my days be.
No, like not the entire thing, but yeah, Adi Sharma is a good book. Okay. But let's
Okay,
move on from my no book knowledge.
Coffee or tea?
Chai.
Die.
Chai.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah,
Memorable student quote.
Okay, a student came to me after a long span of just online classes. He got introduced to me as online student, but then he came to the center, and then the first thing that he said to me was not hi or hello. He said, "I expected you to be taller."
What?
Like, yeah, that happens. Yes, of course. Manaka, how tall did you expect me to be? I don't know, 5'10". I'm 5'5".
No, I think you're tall.
Yeah.
I also realized that when I was going through the random folder when I had just joined, and I was going to the photos, like the birthday celebration and Ashish's weddings photos. So that's when I saw Som properly, and then I that was a shocking fact for me also, because your face gives the vibe that you're 6 foot or like very tall.
Oh my God. If only. God is very, unequal in distributing heights. Some people just don't do anything with their heights, and they have got
Tall
6'2",
height.
6'3", and some talented people.
But you got the brains. That's where it's at.
But it's not about. Yeah, but your answer to this, Nimisha, then we'll move.
What was the question? What a memorable
favorite
quote.
student.
Acha. Ma'am, when will the class end? No. Can we end the class? No, but there was a student of mine, Tanishta, right? So she told me that, ma'am, I look forward to the classes because of you, because
That's
and
sweet.
also she was like, when we had a gap of a month or month and a half, when she came back, she told me she missed me. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
she
how.
said,
Oh,
she said
she's-
I missed my favorite teacher.
Yeah, she and
Yeah.
her mother both.
Does she? I think she's calling both of us the favorite teacher.
Yeah.
They just
We are both her favorite teachers.
I think she's cheating on us.
Tanishta, if you're watching, time to come. Anyways, moving on. Okay. One word for your teaching style.
Uh, Methodical, I'd say.
Okay. Nimisha.
Detailed, precise, and friendly. 3 words, but
Yeah. Supposed to be one. Okay, fine. Detail,
friendly.
precise. Isn't detail and precise same thing?
That's
No.
why. Yeah, okay.
Never.
Detailed.
Never mind. No. Forget I said it.
Detailed
Forget I said
Precise
it.
is precise.
Imagine
Wow. Sorry. Forget I said it.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your desired superpower for teaching?
Oh,
Somehow
telepathy.
I want
Like,
students to get rid of
Oh.
the mistakes if only I
You know,
can.
you will get to know some unwanted things, man. Nimisha, that's
no, not like that. I don't want their info. I just want like
Um,
there's those movies, right, that you hold the hand and all the info goes through to the other person.
Oh,
Something like that. Like I touch their shoulder and then
you
I
transfer
touch their
your
head or
math
all
something.
to them.
And
all
then
the
what I'm
theorems.
trying to
all
what I'm trying to say, sometimes you're trying to say something, you say it 4 times, you're not reaching them. So I just want to transfer telepathically.
So when you say tathastu things, just
Yeah.
go.
transfer. What about you, Sabindu sir?
Just so I was saying, somehow if only I can make students not do silly mistakes, because that's the worst thing that they can do after knowing everything and not scoring 7. So not scoring 800, only 7.
2 plus 3 is 6.
Yeah, sir, I did not read this. So read it, dude.
Sorry, kids, we love you still. I just play.
A subject you love to teach for a day.
I'd go for geography.
Nimisha,
History.
you got to be fast. Okay, we have 3 history teachers. Okay, best way to unwind after work.
I
Is it
usually
unwind? 1 second. Once. I'm so sorry.
Unwind.
Unwind.
Unwind. Okay.
I usually always I end my class and I go to my mom to tell her ऐसे ऐसे this happened all that.
Of course.
My
आज
God.
मेरे बच्चे ने क्या बोला?
हाँ पता है जैसे ऐसे हुआ. That.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay, so
Mera
official,
answer.
official answer.
My answer is, I just after work or wherever, I just talk to her.
Oh.
It's good. It's good unwinding. Yes.
Oh.
Nice. Okay, 3-word advice for SAT aspirants.
I have an answer of 5 words. Keep calm and do SAT.
You should have said get SAT go, which is also fine.
Yeah, that. Yeah, that.
They have
That's a copy paste.
Please keep revising. Please keep revising.
that's
They'll
that's
come to the
not like an
15th lesson
advice. That's
and
like
they don't
advice.
remember anything about the first lesson.
So
And
Nimisha is
there's
not
only one
advising.
student.
Nimisha is
What?
crying. Nimisha is not advising. Nimisha is crying for
Okay.
him. He's
Please revise.
revising.
There's only one student of mine. She makes me happy because she'll come to me. Sorry, Vartika, go ahead. This is rapid fire. I can't go with anecdotes.
We have won the rapid fire because we were rapid.
Yeah.
Okay, the rapid fire is
Next question.
over. It's done.
Okay. And who won?
That's not for me to decide. The audience,
That's for the viewers. They
yeah.
can give that. Please, guys. Please
Please,
type in
guys,
the comments.
go
Who
to
do you
the,
think?
the team in red. We are coordinating.
Yes.
And
Color
We
coded.
we actually played the rapid fire like
we played the rapid
like a
fire.
rapid fire.
With
we
rapid
watch a lot of coffee with
Our-
Karan. That's
Yeah.
for
Our
sure.
brains are. Our brains are so big. There are so many answers inside, right?
No, you don't have to say anything. The Janta will decide. You can keep
Yes,
going about how
right.
good your rapid fire was.
Yes.
It was. Come on,
Your
guys.
story.
Bye, Bachkas.
Our rapid
Yes.
was rapid.
Samantha's are taking the high road.
Cut this shit out of the podcast.
Okay.
Or just
All right.
clean from here. Only the punch should go.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just go on to your final thoughts on SAT, on anything. I think this podcast has been anything and everything.
Fun.
Everything we could discuss, we did. So I just want to have your final thoughts. Anything, a message for a student or for a student who's aspiring to go for SAT, anything. Just some wisdom.
So I have a couple of things. I would say that I really love this kind of interaction that we have, and we should have these kind of things more. Not only because of what, but in general, we should have this kind of meeting. It's a joy to talk to you people. We keep talking with each other, but then it's so nice, such a nice time. Second, for SAT students, I will just borrow a statement from Seba, where she said that this is not the end of it. Yes, sometimes we see students on the verge of burning out because they have just so many things. You know what? These are 15, 16-year-olds, and they have the whole day planned right from 6 a.m. till 9
12
10
in the
p.m.
night.
Yeah. So they have everything planned. The whole day is in front of them, and then and at that moment, if anything, because so many things are involved, anything can go wrong or not according to what they expect, and it's such a sad feeling to see them burning out. So I'd say that end of it is just going to be it's a cumulative thing. So you can't keep on thinking about one thing and don't get too much into it. Just do the required part and just forget about it. Don't take too much on your head.
I think I'd just like to say that it was fun. It was lovely interacting. Students, I think we are always there to look out for you and just feel free. And as everybody has said, this is life. It keeps on going. SAT is one part, and open up. I think there are people who will always listen to you, and that's one. I think there's a lot of pressure on students, and they try to keep it to themselves. They have a lot on their plate, which sometimes parents, teachers, even us ignore. But one thing which I just always keep saying is I love being a teacher because I always get more love than I always give. So it's a very receiving job for me in terms of everything. And I just love my kids. I just love my students, and I love my job because of them. And I don't think a lot of adults can say that.
No, that is for sure because
They make every day fun for me.
that's for sure because I have seen students correcting with Sanskriti even after 1.5 years of getting done with SAT and all that. So that's a good thing. Yes.
That's a really big thing, actually.
Yeah.
For a student to remember you even after years.
Yeah, there are students and we're connected over Insta and all. I mean, it's fun. They share their dog
Insta has made everything so, possible.
Yes. And they care enough. I mean, that's one thing.
Yeah, that's true.
That's one.
That's ultimately the most important
Seba?
thing. And you know what people do nowadays? They just unfollow if they're not in connect with you anymore. So
I love my kids.
as easy as it. Yeah. What about you, Seba?
Okay, so I'm gonna keep this short. I'm just gonna ask students to don't lose you in the process, because there was a student once who asked me, "Ma'am, do you think I'm a good student?" So I mean, what he was trying to ask me, do you think I'm gonna do well on the SAT, when compared to other students? But I just told him, just be you. Matlab, don't worry about how good or bad you are. Don't lose yourself in the process. You're going to do well, because 10 years, 15 years down the lane, you're going to be great. You're going to be somewhere in life, and your SAT scores probably played a small role, but they don't define you. So take a chill pill. And one advice, if there are SAT students listening and if you've not done the test, always use the scratch paper. Okay, that's something I'm always going to tell in every class. Always use your scratch paper. That's it from me.
Scratch paper is the rough paper?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nimisha, on to you.
Yes. So a message for the students and also the parents watching, because a lot of parents also, panic a lot, and that also puts the pressure on the kids. So, to obviously trust their child and trust Tutela that we have done our best and the student has done our best. So not to, get worried about that for parents and for the students as well. And yeah, this was a very fun interaction. I was a little worried about it, going through the questions and how am I going to answer. And I didn't realize it's going to be so much fun. So yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Seba, Som sir, Sanskriti, Nimisha for joining in today.
Thank you, Altika,
And
for hosting
So
us.
much fun.
Yes. It
Cheeks
was
are hurting.
fun. It was so fun. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So to everyone who's listening, I hope you could take away a little bit of information that we could give you. I hope this podcast was helpful for you, and I hope we made it fun for you to listen for this long. And if you liked it, then don't forget to like, share, and comment down below your favorite memory, and also comment down below which team won, because they need an answer.
We need an answer,
Okay.
and Valtika is going to send us the
Bubble.
answer.
I will.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so
Merry
much.
Christmas, everyone, to all students.
Merry
Bye.
Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye
And a
bye.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
When
Bye,
is this getting released? When
Happy New Year, everyone.
Seba?
All
Bye,
right.
Seba.
I'm getting a call.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.
See
Bye.
you.
See you. Bye bye.